You have cancer?
They found it yesterday.
They found it yesterday? Who found it?
My cleaning lady found it in the back of my jeans. Who do you think found it?
You're young. Young people beat cancer all the time. Every celebrity beats cancer. Guy from Dexter, Lance Armstrong, he keeps getting it.
What the Flick, everybody. Welcome. Ben Mankiewicz, Christy Lemire, Grae Drake, who I'm meeting today for the first time. It's exciting.
And she's awesome, isn't she?
She's awesome.
I love her.
So
you are. Oh, no, you are.
Hey,
It's a love fest.
Get a room.
It's because we're wearing springtime clothing today.
Yeah,
We're all
jaunty
feeling
scarves.
So perky and loving today.
Yeah, right. And you know what? Look at me, dressed like Tom Wolfe.
You are. It's a great opportunity to talk about a cancer movie.
Yeah, you know, this was a jacket originally purchased by Turner Classic Movies so I could wear it on the air, but I couldn't really wear it on the air because
Get more A's. Oh, it's noisy with the mic.
it's really noisy with the mic.
Your
so,
cable jacket was wasted.
Yeah. So when I would intro movies, I'd be like, you know, from Warner Brothers in 1943, Casablanca. But I can't move my arms.
Here you
okay,
can.
so 50-50, we'll start with.
This is a movie that should, in theory, be really, really mawkish and painful to watch. It should be sort of like eat your vegetables cinema. It is about Joseph Gordon-Levitt stars as a guy in his 20s with everything ahead of him who finds out he has this very rare and very deadly form of spinal cancer. It's about how all his friends and family react to it. And not necessarily well.
First of all, it already sounds funny.
Oh, so you're my shrink. How old are you?
24?
So what are you, like Doogie Howser?
Who?
Teenage doctor?
Does he work here?
I'm moving in. No, Mom, no.
I'm your mother, Adam.
Wait, exactly.
Don't do it!
I thought you said you liked to do
We're
it.
gonna look weird.
Come on, let's just do it. What do you use this for?
They're body trimmers, so... What is that?
So, I mean, it was funny.
Cancer makes me LOL.
Yeah, right. Well, you know, cancer is a little bit played. Spinal cancer. Right.
That's new and fresh. No, but that's what's so great about this movie is like it's such a difficult balance to strike. Like this is a movie that should be like a made-for-lifetime movie.
Right,
And
totally.
the fact that it is so absurd, the way everyone handles it, and they all handle it poorly, and the honesty at the same time with which he responds to every stage of his reaction to it himself.
Let me jump in just about Lifetime because Saturday on Lifetime, the second showing of The Bling Ring with Jennifer Grey and Ben Mankiewicz will air on Lifetime. I forgot to tell everyone that it was airing.
Are
the first
you in
time.
a made-for-lifetime movie?
I'm in a made-for-Lifetime movie. It's no big deal. I got to see it with Jennifer Grey. One of my friends saw it. It was apparently incredibly painful. Not the movie, my scene.
Who are you? Are you frightened inmate number 2?
No, I'm like a Dateline correspondent, like sitting down for an in-depth interview with her. It's a fairly long, I'm sure, quite painful scene. She's
Who does she play?
She plays the mother in the Bling Ring, sort of the mother of the leader of the Bling Ring.
Bling Ring, just that name is compelling to me. It makes me want to go buy something sparkly and then sit down with my Haagen-Dazs.
Yes.
Saturday night, 8 o'clock, Lifetime.
Please continue,
right.
though. You had a thought, I'm sure,
yeah.
on the movie that we're actually talking about here today.
I don't know. I just wanted
Blah,
to talk
blah,
about me. But it doesn't feel at all like a Lifetime movie. There's nothing.
No.
Although it's not very. It's not very complicated, but it's still. It's anything but. It's the relationships are very real and very believable. I really like it in a movie where the male characters have some. They're identifiable. Their friendship, Seth Rogen and Joseph Gordon-Levitt's friendship is identifiable, and these guys are like. I like movies where guys try to get laid and they're not. But hold on, but they're not seen. That doesn't diminish them. They're not douchebags.
Yeah.
They're fully formed
Just
individuals.
dudes.
Yeah.
They're using cancer to get laid.
Hey,
Even better.
Come on, they're not made of stone. Well, I think Seth Rogen is the best here that he's been since Knocked Up. Really good. His awkward humor works so well here because he, he brings a lot of levity to it, but at the same time keeps things bubbly.
Yeah, and he almost might be better in some ways than Knocked Up, which was, of course, terrific. But he's not the lead here, and that's an interesting choice since he produced the movie and he wrote the movie.
But
I'm getting a little tired of him. I'm also glad that he's not the lead. Go ahead.
I was going to say, but part of what I like about this movie is that you think you see things coming. You think you see developments coming on the horizon that might be obvious, but you get a surprise in them. And Seth Rogen's performance is one of those, because he's kind of playing that same kind of like big, garrulous, crass teddy bear guy that he's made a career on, but then there's tenderness, and then there's generosity with his best friend who's dying.
Totally.
That fleshes him out and gives him more substance. And the same thing with Anna Kendrick, who is lovely as his therapist. You see where that's going from the second they meet, but there are so many lovely, quiet moments and surprises and awkward moments, and
It's real. Like the movie's completely realistic.
And one of my few moments of cinematic insight.
You have them all the time.
When we saw the first Twilight movie, which was unwatchable. But I came out of that movie, and wherever I was doing my review, I thought that girl who played her friend,
Her sassy friend.
her
yes.
sassy friend, was the best person in
Yeah.
the movie, and that
Nice.
was Anna Kendrick, and she's been sensational in
Right.
everything.
She
And
was
I
great
think
in Rocket Science.
she's great, man. She's terrific, and there's something so terrific. She plays Joseph Gordon-Levitt's therapist. She's like a rookie therapist. She's
Yeah.
in her internship, and she doesn't really know what she's doing, but she's trying so hard. She wants so badly to do the right thing. Very believable, and that's a relationship you end up really rooting for, even though it appears that it might be impossible because she's his therapist.
You could see that coming. That's why they bought you that coat.
That's right.
Also, the other woman in this with him, Bryce Dallas Howard, is in a very tricky spot. Because she's saying all the right things, but you know she's reluctant from the very beginning, and we end up not necessarily hating her because she's fleshed out really well too.
Yeah, she's a good actress,
tough
man.
spot.
She is a good actress.
She's the right one to play this role because it's right. You're really it's a tricky role to be in.
But Seth Rogen and his writing partner Evan Goldberg, and then I guess Will Reiser, who's the guy who actually got cancer, who the story is based on. The way they wrote Bryce Dallas Howard's character is impressive because it's so easy to pigeonhole that character and have that character be sort of either dopey or just flat out loathed. But even her last moment, her last line sends a message to us that, oh, wait a minute, she's leaving this guy on cancer and she betrayed this guy on cancer. But you know what? We like her. There's there's a very human part of her. It's complicated. I really like that.
She bought him Skeletor the dog.
Yes,
That's right.
the
It can't
therapy
be all
dog.
bad. I cried
Yeah.
because of Angelica Houston.
Yeah, she's great in it. Only a couple of
She's in,
scenes.
like 15 minutes maybe in the film. And then I thought I was done with the crying. I got in my car and drove home, and the crying started again. I
Really?
cried all the way home.
Wow. What about
cried.
that performance really got to you?
I think that it was because this movie isn't just about the cancer. It's not just about someone maybe dying. It's just a purely human experience. These people relating to each other, mom, son. It's awkward.
Right, Angelica
you know?
Houston's the mother. Yeah, again, there was a complication to it. The mother had all these flaws and had been failed in some ways, I suppose, as a mother in his eyes.
Yeah.
And then she's in this moment, but then you learn little things about her and about her struggle, and that got me. Look, I cry at everything. I cry, as I've said, when Bart and Lisa are nice to each other. But yeah, this movie,
That's fair.
there was no getting around. There was no getting around crying in this movie.
It's pretty great.
This movie.
But not in a horrible way. Yeah, what are our numbers?
In like an uplifting way.
Yeah.
But not in
Yeah.
a cheesy uplifting way.
No, it's like not terms of endearment.
No, I gave this movie 4 stars. It's only the second movie I give him 4 stars to all year.
The other?
Myth of the American Sleepover.
Oh,
you
which
love
is so
Which is so good, which came and went in like 2 weeks. Go look for it if it's out anywhere in the world that's accessible to you. It's great.
So good.
So I would, in theory, have to give this a 10. I'm giving it a 9.8.
Just because you have that ability.
The power at my fingertips of picking an arbitrary number.
Withholding of her 0.2 stars.
I am. So it's 9.8. So.
I gave it 9.5. Minus 0.5 points because of all the mascara down my face.
I gave it an 8.8. I thought it was wonderful. I highly recommend it. That's among the higher grades I've given lately. I just thought there was a little more. There were moments where I actually wanted to know more. It's a rare. After the movie, I thought it should have been a little longer.
Wow.
We never say that.
A little more about Seth Rogen's character. About just sort of there were moments where I wanted to know more. That I thought he was sort of filling a part and not a role. He was great. I just thought it could be fleshed out a little more.
I agree.
But we're nitpicking. It's great. Go see
Director's
it.
cut.
It's phenomenal. Yeah, there you go.
So what's our
overall, 9.4. High recommendation.
Yay,
for,
cancer.
for 50-50.
Bye, thanks.